Another thing I want to talk about are score sets. Actually, you know what? Before I get to score sets, let's talk about the staff styles. A staff style it's sort of like when you're writing a letter in a Word, a word processor, and you select a font. The font is going to give your words. The words never change. It's the appearance of the words that change because of the font you select or the style of text you select. That's what a staff style is all about. Again, it's another interpretive feature that will determine how the notes look on the staff. If I did something wacky like change this to bass staff style, now of course the notes, you never write a part like this, but for demonstration purposes I think it shows the point that you're getting the same notes but displayed on a staff in which the notes are being interpreted according to the bass clef. You could change this to piano, and now the notes are being showed at their proper pitches, but you have the extra staff for extra notes. That's what staff styles are all about. One of the things that people run into all the time is when they record a part, it ends up being on the piano staff style. And I'll just demonstrate that really quickly here and show you how to avoid that. No, I don't want that. I want this. Okay. So actually, yeah, I'll go with the flute. Right. All right, let's just see what Logic gives us here. All right, so it's almost like by magic that this little flute part is being shown on the treble staff. The notes are not transposed. It looks absolutely perfect. I'm going to do the same thing on piano, and let's see what happens. I don't know what I'm playing. I need more coffee. All right, so let's look at this. Same thing. It's a piano sound. All the notes are on the at the correct pitches, but we're not seeing it on piano staff. We're seeing it in just a single line treble staff. So Logic does not magically know about the type of sound you're playing. It never does. But what it does do is it recognizes the register in which the majority of your notes were played, and it will automatically assign a staff style to that region accordingly. Here it knew that it ascertained that the notes were in this region, this range of notes, so it gave it the staff style of treble. But now if I play, again, it's a piano part. So let's see what happens there. Sure enough, it puts it on a grand staff, which looks proper for piano. And the reason it did this is because Logic analyzed the range of notes I played, and it has built-in rules that tell it to place the part, to assign the piano staff style to a part. A similar thing will happen if I play just notes exclusively in the bass. And let's see, sure enough, it put it just, not only did it give it a bass staff style, but it gave it a contrabass staff style, which is a transposing staff style. So these notes are actually correct, but they are given the appearance of being an octave higher than I actually played them, which is in keeping with the convention for writing music for contrabass. So the way that you can stop Logic from taking a guess at what staff style it should apply to a part is to go over here to this parameter. This is called the staff style. This is the track parameters staff style, and this is the middle box. And you'll notice that I'm not showing the score editor. I'm in the actual tracks area. I've selected the track, and here is this parameter that has an effect on whatever you record on the track. So if I was to change this to, actually let's do it on the flute. Is the flute good? Actually, yeah, let's do piano. So if I specifically tell Logic, okay, anything I record on this track needs to be displayed on with the piano staff style, that's exactly what will happen regardless of where I play notes. So those are notes up in the piccolo range, but because I've set the staff style to piano in the track parameters, bingo, it shows up correctly in the score. So especially if you're doing orchestral music, it would behoove you, he said behoove, to go through every one of your tracks and set this staff style parameter accordingly. And then as you record parts, they will appear. It's a huge time saver. They'll appear on the correct tracks with the correct staff style. So for violins, I'll do treble. Those are actually the same track, just duplicates. All right, here's another. This is violins 2. Viola, there is a preset viola staff style, and if we take a look at this, you can see that the part I recorded previously was given the bass staff style by Logic, but anything I record subsequently using the sound will be recorded properly with the alto clef viola staff style. Now, I can go in here to this existing viola part, and as long as the score editor has focus, that is the score editor, the blue line, as opposed to the region having focus, click on the staff and I can now change the staff style to viola. And one of the things about the viola staff style is that it automatically puts the notes in the right place on the staff. So what looks like a B in treble clef is actually C when playing alto, writing music for alto clef. Okay, oh, we have a question. Awesome. If a region is copied to a track, does it adopt the staff style? That's a darn good question. Let's find out. Okay, so here's something on piano. Let's see what happens if I move it to let's see what happens if I copy it, and now I am holding Option and dragging it to the viola track. And let's see what happens. No, it does not. So I didn't know that. So that's a great question. It does not adopt the style. I believe that what needs to happen is you need to actually record something on that track, and then this staff style parameter is invoked on the new recording. Ooh, let's see. Sure enough. Okay, so that this is a this staff style parameter of the track parameters is a record function. Bummer. Yeah, that would be pretty cool actually if it would do that, because then you could take, let's say, a trombone part and I don't know, copy it to a contrabass part, which would have to be notated an octave higher than it sounds, and that would be a really convenient thing. But no, apparently it doesn't do it. While we're here with this piano part, let me get this. Here's something interesting about this little piano thingy. I'll just play it one more time. Okay, now the way I play this, I don't have a camera on my hands, but it's probably easy enough to just sort of understand. So that's my left hand, that's my right hand. And let's go down here. First three notes are left hand, that's right hand. In order to properly display the notes on the right staff, we have a little problem here. The piano staff style itself, I'll open up the staff style editor window here. Now the piano staff style on its own has a built-in split point. And you can change this split point quite easily. He said, okay. So I've just changed this and it's a fixed split. So, you know, if you change the upper one, the lower one is gonna follow. So now this is in the right place and this is in the right place. But we have a little problem with this note. This is a left-hand note. And depending on the music you write, sometimes you can find a split point that is, in fact, perfect for an entire piece. But most of the time you won't. So one of the ways to let you deliberately place the notes anywhere you want, again without affecting the performance, is to use a different staff style. There's a preset here called Piano 1-3. And before I apply it to this staff style, let's just take a look at the parameters here. You can see this is the treble voice, as it's known, and this is the bass voice. And the treble voice is assigned to a MIDI channel as opposed to a note. You can see that the notes of the split point are grayed out here. So they're assigned to two different MIDI channels, and Logic uses the MIDI channel of a note to determine which staff it will appear on when you're using one of these what are called polyphonic staff styles. I'm not a big fan of 1-3 only because you have to skip a channel. I'm gonna change this to 1-2, and I'll show you why. And just for the heck, I'll rename it. Double click on the thing and rename it. So now I'm going to apply this. So I've edited the Piano 1-2 staff style. Now I'm actually going to apply it to the part. And look at what happened. It's kind of a mess. But the reason we're seeing what we're seeing is because all the notes from my controller are transmitting on channel 1, and per this definition of the staff style, all notes on channel 1 are going to appear on the top staff. So I'm going to go back because it's just too messy. I'm going to put the normal piano staff style back for a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this part, and this one is easy enough to do manually. I'm going to highlight all the notes that I want to be in the bass staff ultimately. And I'm going to change their MIDI channel to channel 2. Now there's a bunch of ways to do that. I've just opened up an event editor, and I can go in here and I can just change them to 2. And you'll notice that nothing has changed about the score yet. The reason for that is because the piano staff style doesn't distinguish between MIDI channels. You can see here that the channel fields are blank. It will allocate notes exclusively according to the split point. But now if I apply the Piano 1-2 staff style, okay, I'm just going to get these little pedal markings out of the way for a sec. Oops, hold on, come on. There we go. Now you can see that the channel 2 notes have gone to the bass staff. These are all in the right place, the little clustery bits, and all is right. Now, there's another way to do this. I'm going to go back to the piano staff style. Actually, I can just undo here. I'm going to put all the notes back on channel 1. All right, so now things look, as normal as they will using the piano staff style. I'm going to change the Piano 1-2. Things look messy. I'm going to move these pedals out of the way. And by the way that I'm selecting them all at the same time is by using a function called select similar. Let me get the key commands window up here. Yeah, select similar regions and events. And I've assigned it my own custom key command of Control Option S. You can assign it whatever you want, but that's mine. And so by selecting one and then hitting Control Option S, they all select. And now I can just drag them down out of the way.